It's 8 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday, April 26th, 2023. And this is where the wire was. I'm looking straight west, and so the southern part of the field here was where the cows were. And this is where I'm moving the cows to on the northern part of the field. It is about 55 degrees or so. It rained this morning quite heavily, lots of lightning and thunder. We got over half an inch, so that's pretty good. When I came out here, the sheep were outside of the area. The ram was with them. So let's see if I can find evidence that cows were here. You can see the grass is trimmed. There's lots of places where they trim the grass. The manure's not looking too bad. It's improved a lot. I need to get the minerals back down here. I've been lazy about that. They've been a week without minerals. Almost a week. I'm going to move them to the next section on Friday morning. So tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, I'm going to give them a double section because I won't be able to be here Thursday evening. Oh, what is this? Not sure. I do see some hairy vetch though. I think there's some other things in that little patch of ground. I found an old cattle trail. The cows, when they walk back and forth the row, they like to walk in the same spot, and they make a little cattle trail. I've always found that weird that the cattle trails aren't straight. You'd think that with the random motions, left to right, they're not quite going straight, that they would form the average, which would be pretty much straight, but it's not. They don't like to go straight, I guess. Ooh, look at all this clover. Nice. You can see the grasses. This is the old row that they were just in 3.5 days ago. It's like it hasn't even been touched. Commentator asked how tall this grass will get. The grass that you see, most of the grass you see is ryegrass, which is a cool season grass. Right now is when it grows the most. So I think up until about mid-May, it'll keep growing, assuming it doesn't get too hot too quick. Last year it got hot pretty quick. So by mid-May, all the grass was dead. But this grass, when I bought this field, the guy, I believe he drilled and fertilized the field. So the grass was up to my armpits. And that lasted well into June because the grass was so tall. Then all of a sudden the grass turned brown and the seed heads drooped down, and that was it. So ryegrass, this is an annual ryegrass, which means it doesn't grow back. It dies. If it weren't for the seeds that it put out, it would disappear from the entire pasture. But they do put out tons of seeds, and the cows do a good job of helping to spread and plant the seeds. So the next time we'll see the next generation of ryegrass, it will be in the autumn. It won't grow very much in the autumn. Oh, the sheep didn't like that. That lamb has curly hair. Anyway, so the ryegrass will grow back in the autumn, and it kind of goes dormant in the winter. It doesn't grow very much at all. And then in the spring, starting in about early to mid-March, depending on whether it gets warm quick or not. This year it was warm in February, so it really started growing in February. But it'll start growing in early March. So, and there are other cool season grasses mixed in here. Most of them I can't really tell you what they are, but I think I saw some wheat. My goodness, you're a little protected mother, aren't you? Wheat. There's some other things that'll grow too. Anyway, once the weather warms up, and I believe somebody said it has to be like 3 consecutive days where it doesn't drop below 60 degrees. Once the weather warms up, then the warm season grass will start growing. Unfortunately, if the cool season grass is blocking all the sunlight, that makes it difficult for the warm season grasses to start. And the warm season grasses that I have is mostly Bermuda. I believe it's Bermuda. I'm pretty sure it's Bermuda, not Bahia. Oh, here's some more clovers. And the warm season grasses, they grow out more than up. But Jim that I talked to a while back, he only has Bermuda grass, and his grass grows up. It grows quite tall. So, I don't know what's going to happen this year, but we'll find out. Is that an old patty or is that a new patty? Probably an old patty. So we're going to find out. This is the cattle trail I was talking about. You can kind of see it, just kind of walk along it here, but the grass is already moving in. I can barely see it. The Bermuda grass will grow quite well, even in the heat. Yeah, this is a different type of grass. This isn't ryegrass. That's something else. I'm not sure what that is. And it just keeps growing. It just keeps trucking along. What's weird is, like, during the drought last year, we had a really dry summer, and we didn't have any moisture in the soil to speak of. And so last year, the Bermuda grass was always brown. It never really turned green. And the cattle trail goes off this direction. I'm probably not east and west. Probably not lined up. Need to check that on Google Earth. The Bermuda grass was brown, but I swore that even though it was brown, it was growing. I was come back to a pasture, 2 or 3 months later. I'd forgot what a rotation I was doing back then. I didn't record it very well. But I'd come back to a pasture, and the grass would already be, 4 to 6 inches tall. Just brown, dead grass, but it seems to be growing somehow. And the same for like the early winter and early fall. The Bermuda grass just seems to keep growing, even though it's not warm enough, even though there's not enough rain. The first year we had the drought, that was 2 years ago, the Bermuda grass just grew really well, even though there was no rain. And that continued all the way to the autumn. But by the time autumn came, the water was gone. The soil was no longer damp. You can dig down, it's just sand, dirt, dry dirt. So, anyway, we still have electrical problems. I haven't gotten the panel fixed yet. And so we have no electricity. I'm concerned the wild animals are going to figure out the fence isn't hot anymore. They're going to start messing with it. I'm also concerned that when I do finally turn it back on, all the vegetation will have grown up and is touching the wire. So the perimeter of this property is about a 1.5 miles long. So that's 1.5 miles of vegetation touching the wire. That's going to drain the charge. So I need to get the electricity back on. But like, I went and checked the panel this morning, there's even more water there. Speaking of which, I have to take a photo of it, send it to the contractor, let him know what's going on. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for you today. Have a great day. Bye-bye.